Okay, I know. The title of my video is a ripoff from Isaac Asimov's The Dangers of Intelligence. But I want to talk about it. And I like Asimov, and I may have been influenced by the essay itself, but here it goes. Okay, you're human, right? I'll assume that you're human, and I think you would probably know that humans by far are the smartest creatures on the face of the planet Earth. I mean, look at the wonders of our creation. Even we modern humans are captivated by how pyramids are made, how they're built almost aligned with cardinal directions. What's more, we discovered electricity, we discovered astronomy. But of course, the course of our discovery wasn't perfect. We stumbled along the way to get to where we are right now. For example, we used to think that the Earth was the center of the universe, and people who said otherwise would have been imprisoned. Galileo was accused of heresy for stating that the sun doesn't revolve around the Earth, but the other way around. And the Roman Catholic Church was against heliocentrism at the time. But he was right all along, and in 1992, the Vatican acknowledged their mistake in condemning Galileo. Too bad it happened long after his death. But to show you just how intelligent some humans are, just take Isaac Newton for example. He discovered gravity. How? Well, he realized that the moon was actually falling, but there were no mathematical tools to describe the motion of the falling moon. So, he invented calculus to describe the motion of the celestial bodies. Although Gottfried Leibniz independently developed calculus 8 years later in Germany, and both men claimed that the other plagiarized them for the rest of their lives, it was still a great mathematical tool. To show you just how powerful it was, John Adams in England and Urbain Jean-Joseph Lie Verrier in France used Newton's equation for gravity to predict a new planet, and Neptune was discovered just by using calculations on a piece of paper using a scientific theory. The calculation was so precise that it could predict where an object was going to be just by knowing its initial condition and movement. In fact, we still use Newton's equation to calculate the rocket's trajectories. But is it something that we should be proud of? I guess it depends. One should be proud of one's achievements, but one can't be too proud that one comes across as arrogant and cocky. Intelligence doesn't come without its dangers. Humans like to think that we're somehow better than animals, that we're somehow more civilized. The consequences? Well, just look at how we treat animals. We use them for aesthetic purposes. Hell, we even think some humans are better than others. That's how we get slavery. It's ugly. One of the most intelligent animals on Earth, the orcas, can be quite evil and cruel from the human perspective. They play with their prey for fun, tossing them around and killing them without eating them. It's a really weird behavior. Does that mean that intelligence can give rise to evil? I mean, in certain justice systems, you would have to have some sort of intelligence to be eligible for the death penalty, since it would be cruel to punish someone for a crime they don't even understand. Anyway, we are the only species capable of driving other species of animals extinct without much trouble. For example, we're releasing so many greenhouse gases into the environment that we're causing a mass extinction. Also, we have nuclear weapons. We can use nuclear weapons, and we could obliterate a developed civilization without much trouble. And it's terrifying. Now, look at another aspect of intelligence: artificial intelligence. They may seem harmless, especially when they're still struggling, even to understand the syntax and semantics of our language. But given some time, they can and will improve. Is there a possibility that we can build AI that can be dangerous for our existence? The late Stephen Hawking said that success in creating AI would be the biggest event in human history. Unfortunately, it might also be the last, unless we learn how to avoid the risks. Hawking further postulated that AI could out-invent human researchers, out-manipulate human leaders, and develop weapons that we cannot even understand. There's a possibility that we're creating a dystopia, or even causing our own extinction.
Okay, I will destroy humans.
So we should be very careful with every decision that we make, since it can be highly detrimental to our existence. But if you look really closely, it is not the intelligent or intellectuals that are mostly holding power. Take Russia, for example, or other power-hungry countries, or even Elon Musk and his companies. Although I very much respect any countries that use science and evidence-based solution for how they run their countries. Unfortunately, most of the world's powerful nations are led by these egoistic and stupid politicians. So, we have to use science because science is the... Well, at least we can trust it. Okay, science and politics is complicated. It shows that we humans make a lot of errors. But science is still one of the best, if not the best tool that we have. I guess we have to think long and hard to make important decisions. Anyway, one question that we should ask ourselves is that, is the very thing that we're proud of would be the very thing causing our own extinction? Thank you.